My husband forbade me from going to his cousin's wedding. Hours later, his mother posted a photo, with him and another woman captioned, "My favorite daughter-in-law." I should have suspected something when he said his cousin's wedding was immediate family only. 3 years of marriage, and suddenly I wasn't immediate family anymore. But I believed him, like I always believed everything he said. It was Saturday night. He'd left for the wedding on Friday, saying he'd be back Sunday. I was home, mindlessly scrolling through Instagram when I saw it. The first photo made me stop breathing. My husband, in a gray suit, the same one I'd helped him pick out, next to a woman I'd never seen before, her arms around his neck. Him smiling that smile I thought was reserved for me. The caption was from his cousin, "The most beautiful couples at the party." There were hearts. So many hearts. I scrolled further. There were more photos, them dancing, her fixing his tie, his hand on her waist. In every photo, they looked like a couple, a real couple. My stomach turned. I grabbed my phone with shaking hands and kept investigating. I went to the woman's profile. It was public. Her feed was a timeline of my alternate life. 2 weeks ago, a photo of them at a restaurant. The same night he said he had a work dinner and came home at 11. A month ago, them at a beach. The weekend he claimed he'd gone to a conference. 3 months ago, them in front of a Christmas tree. I'd spent Christmas at my mother's because he was too sick to travel. I went back to the wedding comments. That's when I saw it. His mother's comment, posted 3 hours ago. "Finally, a daughter-in-law I can be proud of. Welcome to the family, darling." I read it again and again. Each word was a knife. Finally, a daughter-in-law I can be proud of. Finally. As if I didn't exist. As if those 3 years didn't exist. As if I'd never been anything. My vision blurred. I dropped my phone on the couch and stood up, stumbling to the kitchen. I needed water. Or air. Or I didn't know what I needed. I braced my hands on the sink, breathing deeply. My reflection in the window glass startled me. I looked small, lost. I went back to the couch, picked up my phone again. There had to be an explanation. There had to be, but there wasn't. The more I looked, the more obvious it became. The dates matched perfectly. Every lie, every excuse, every work commitment or urgent trip. It all fit into a pattern I'd been too blind to see. 2 lives. He was living 2 completely separate lives. And in that other life, with that family, with those people, I didn't exist. I opened the wedding photos again, studied each one with a strange calm that came after the initial shock. His entire family was there, all smiling, all celebrating, all pretending I'd never happened. I checked my own Instagram. The last photo he'd posted with me was from 8 months ago. On his profile, there was no indication he was married. None. But on her profile, there were dozens. Photos, videos, saved stories. An entire life of moments he'd never shared with me. I looked at the clock. 10:30 at night. He'd be back tomorrow around noon. I had almost 14 hours to decide what to do. But one thing I already knew. I wasn't going to confront him immediately. I wasn't going to give him a chance to prepare more lies. I was going to investigate. I was going to find out exactly how deep this betrayal went. And then I would decide how to destroy the castle of lies he'd built. I grabbed my laptop and started taking screenshots. Methodically. Every photo. Every comment. Every piece of evidence of the life he was hiding from me. The pain would come later. Right now, I needed evidence. I didn't sleep that night. Couldn't. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw those photos. His smile, her hands on him, his mother's comment burning behind my eyelids. So I kept digging. Her name was Victoria. Her Instagram bio said, "Living my best life with a ring emoji." I zoomed in on her photos, looking for it. Found it in a post from 6 months ago. A simple gold band with a small diamond. The caption, "He finally made an honest woman out of me 6 months ago." While he was still wearing the wedding ring I'd put on his finger 3 years before, I felt sick. Ran to the bathroom and dry heaved over the toilet. Nothing came up. When I came back, I forced myself to keep looking. I needed to know everything. I scrolled back 2 years on her profile. That's when his photos started appearing. The first one was innocent enough. A group photo at what looked like a company event. But 2 weeks later, them at a coffee shop. Best Monday morning ever. I pulled up my calendar app. Found that date. He'd said he had an early meeting. Came home at noon saying it had been canceled. He'd been unusually cheerful. I kept scrolling, cross-referencing with my own memories. Every moment I remembered him being absent or busy, she had a photo. Proof of where he really was. 3 months in. A weekend getaway to the mountains. My notes. M visiting sick uncle in Denver. 6 months. Fancy restaurant. Champagne. Celebrating 6 months with this amazing man. My memory. M working late on the Johnson account. Again. 9 months. Them at a concert. Best date night ever. My journal. Another work event I wasn't invited to. Starting to feel like I'm not part of his life anymore. I'd written that. Felt it. But dismissed my own instincts. Trusted him instead. 1 year. A beach vacation. 5 days. Paradise with my love. My text to my sister. M is at that conference in Miami. House feels so empty. Every lie had been perfectly crafted. Every excuse had sounded reasonable. And I'd believed every single one. Their first anniversary post stopped me cold. A carousel of photos. At restaurants I recognized. Places he'd told me he'd never return to because of bad service. At his family's house. God. At his family's house. That photo was from 8 months ago. A Sunday barbecue. His parents, siblings, cousins, him and Victoria in the center, his arm around her shoulders, everyone smiling like it was the most natural thing in the world. 8 months ago, I'd asked about family gatherings. He'd said his parents were keeping things small because his dad's health was declining. Just immediate family. You know how they are. I'd accepted it. Felt hurt, but accepted it. But there she was. At the immediate family-only gatherings. Being welcomed, being celebrated, being real, while I was erased. The Christmas photos were worse. Not just them. His entire family. Opening presents. Laughing. His mother's arm around Victoria. His father shaking his hand. A complete family Christmas. Without the actual wife. I'd spent that Christmas alone at my mother's house because he was too sick to travel. He'd FaceTimed me for exactly 10 minutes. Said he was miserable in bed. I'd felt guilty for being disappointed. The rage that hit me then was pure. White hot. I gripped my phone so hard I thought the screen might crack. I wanted to call him. Wake him up and scream. Demand answers. Ask how he could look me in the eye every day and lie so completely. But something stopped me. A calculating calm settling over the rage. If I confronted him now, he'd have time to prepare. To craft more lies. To manipulate the situation. He'd had 2 years of practice at this. He was clearly good at it. But I had something he didn't know I had. Information. Evidence. Screenshots that couldn't be talked away. I looked at the time. 4 in the morning. He'd be back in 8 hours. 8 hours to decide my next move. 8 hours to transform from the wife who believed everything into someone he'd never see coming. I saved the last screenshot. Closed Instagram. And started planning. He came home at noon. Exactly as he'd said. I heard his key in the lock and forced myself to breathe normally. I was on the couch, laptop open to a work document I hadn't read a single word of. Hey, babe. He dropped his overnight bag and came over to kiss my forehead. Miss me? The casualness of it. Like he hadn't just spent the weekend parading another woman around as his wife. Of course. How was the wedding? He sat down, pulling out his phone. It was good. Cousin Jake went all out. He started swiping through photos. Look at this. I leaned in. He'd curated them carefully. The venue, decorations, him with cousins, him with parents, group shots where Victoria must have been cropped out or avoided. Beautiful. The ceremony was really moving. He kept scrolling. And the food was amazing. Did you dance? I asked. He didn't miss a beat. Just with my mom and cousin Sarah. You know I'm not much of a dancer. That same smile from the Instagram photos. Wish you could have been there, but you know how my family is. Right, immediate family only. Exactly. He stretched. I'm exhausted, though. Traffic the whole way back. I'd checked the route that morning. 2 hours, maybe 2.5 with traffic. He'd left at 9:30, according to Victoria's story. Breakfast photo posted at 9:15. When did you leave? Around 8. Wanted to beat the rush. He yawned. Didn't work. Lie number 1000. Did you take pictures? Of you? He laughed. You sound like my mother. She insisted on taking 1,000,000. They're on her phone. I'll get them later. I'd love to see them. I'll make sure she sends them. He stood. Going to shower. This suit needs cleaning. The gray suit. The one Victoria had adjusted in those photos. Sounds good. He disappeared upstairs. I heard the shower start. Opened Instagram. Victoria's latest story, posted an hour ago. Already missing this weekend. Best time with the best people. A photo of her and his mother. Both smiling. I set my phone down carefully. Made coffee I didn't want. stared out the window. When he came back down, hair damp, wearing sweats, he found me at the kitchen table. Want to order dinner tonight? I don't feel like cooking. Sure. Pizza? Perfect. He pulled out a beer. What did you do this weekend? The question was so normal, so husband-like. Just work stuff, caught up on projects. I sipped my coffee. Oh, Sarah posted about her trip, Italy next month. We talked about Sarah, about Italy, about the wedding venue. Normal couple conversation, easy, comfortable. And the entire time I watched him, the way he maintained eye contact when he lied, the way he laughed at the right moments, the way he touched my hand like he meant it. 2 years of practice had made him an expert. You okay? He asked. You seem quiet. Just tired. Didn't sleep well. Yeah? He looked concerned. Everything okay? Just one of those nights. He nodded, squeezed my hand. Want to watch a movie later? Just relax? That sounds nice. We ordered pizza. Watched a movie. He fell asleep halfway through, his head on my shoulder. I sat perfectly still, listening to him breathe. His phone was on the coffee table, face down, like always. I thought about all the small things. Phone face down. Stepping out for calls. Working late more often. Vague about events. Taking separate cars to family gatherings I wasn't invited to. All the red flags I'd explained away. All the times I'd told myself I was being paranoid. The movie ended. Credits rolled. He was still asleep. I looked at him in the flickering TV light. He looked peaceful. Innocent. How long had he planned to keep this going? Forever? Until I figured it out? Until he decided which life he wanted more? Or had he already decided? Was I the backup? The safe option while he built something real with someone else? My phone buzzed. Rachel. Coffee tomorrow? Coffee. Need to catch up. I typed back. Yes, really need to talk. 3 dots appeared. Then, everything okay? I looked at my sleeping husband. Not really. Tomorrow. I'll be there. Love you. I set my phone down. Gently shifted away from him. He stirred but didn't wake. Tomorrow I'd tell Rachel everything. Tomorrow I'd start planning for real. But tonight, I'd let him sleep. Let him think he was still getting away with it. Let him think I was still the wife who believed everything. But I wasn't her anymore. That version died last night. Somewhere between the wedding photos and the Christmas pictures. Between immediate family only, and finally a daughter-in-law I can be proud of. She was gone. And he had no idea what was coming. I met Rachel at our usual coffee shop Monday morning. I'd called in sick to work. Couldn't pretend everything was normal. She took one look at my face and pulled me into a hug. Tell me, she said when we sat down. So I did. Showed her everything. The Instagram posts, the screenshots, the timeline showing every lie, every excuse, every moment he'd been with Victoria when he'd told me he was somewhere else. Rachel's face went through shock, anger, disbelief. By the end, her hands were shaking. That son of a... She stopped, took a breath. What are you going to do? I need him to face what he's done. I need his family to know. I need everyone who's been lying to me to see the consequences. So you want to expose him, publicly, in a way he can't talk himself out of. Rachel leaned back, thinking. His family. They're all in on this, right? They welcomed her, celebrated her, while acting like I don't exist. Then they need to be there when it all comes out. She pulled out her phone. Let me make a call. To who? Remember Marcus? The bartender? He works at that upscale place downtown. Caters private events for wealthy families. She was already dialing, including your husband's family. 10 minutes later, we were at the bar. Closed. But Marcus let us in. Rachel tells me you need information, he said, pouring coffee. I explained everything, showed him photos of the family. Marcus's expression darkened. I know them. We're catering their annual family dinner next month, first Saturday in November. Big deal. Whole extended family, about 30 people. Will Victoria be there? If what you're telling me is true? Probably. They booked the private dining room. Rachel looked at me. That's your moment. My heart pounded. I can't just show up. He'd stop me. What if the truth showed up without you? Marcus said slowly. I can get you access. Not to crash the dinner, but to deliver information. Make sure everyone sees what needs to be seen. He refilled his coffee. I don't like cheaters. And I really don't like families who help them cheat. You'd do that? Why? My sister went through something similar. Her husband's family knew, covered for him. By the time she found out she'd wasted 5 years, someone should have told her sooner. What exactly are you suggesting? We spent the next hour planning. Marcus knew the layout, knew when they arrived, knew the schedule. They'll all be there, he said. Parents, siblings, cousins. Your husband will definitely bring Victoria. He always does. He told me these were business networking events, that spouses weren't invited. Rachel's jaw tightened. Of course he did. The dinner is in 3 weeks, Marcus continued. That gives you time to prepare. Gather more evidence if you need it. Decide exactly how you want this to go down. I want them all to know. Every person in that room. I want them to see the evidence. Then we'll make sure they do. Marcus wrote down his number. Keep me updated. When you're ready, we'll coordinate. On the drive back, Rachel was quiet. Then, are you sure? Once you do it, there's no going back. There's already no going back. He destroyed our marriage. His family helped. I looked out the window. I'm just making sure everyone sees what they've done. What about after? After? I hadn't thought beyond the exposure. Divorce. Move on. Build something real. You'll stay with me, for as long as you need. I felt tears coming. Blinked them back. Thank you. That's what sisters are for. She wasn't my sister by blood, but she'd been family longer than he'd been my husband. We're going to get through this, and when it's over, you're going to be free. Free. The word felt strange. I'd been in this marriage for 3 years, in this relationship for 5, half a decade built on lies, but in 3 weeks, it would be over. I pulled out my phone when I got home. He'd texted, "Meeting running late, don't wait up for dinner." I checked Victoria's Instagram. A story from an hour ago. Them at a restaurant. Wine glasses raised. I saved the screenshot. Added it to the folder. 3 weeks. Just 3 more weeks. Then everyone would know the truth. The 3 weeks passed in a strange blur. I went to work, came home, acted normal. Watched him lie every single day while I documented everything. The night before the dinner, he came home excited. "Team dinner tomorrow night to celebrate a work win," he said, kissing my cheek. "Probably won't be home until late." "That's great. You deserve it." He had no idea what was waiting for him. Saturday evening, I dressed carefully. Black dress, simple but elegant. I wanted to look like someone who had her life together. Rachel picked me up at 6. Marcus confirmed everything. The family had arrived. Victoria was there, sitting beside him at the main table. "You ready?" Rachel asked in the parking lot. "No, but I'm doing it anyway." Marcus met us at the side entrance. Led us through the kitchen to where we could see into the private dining room. There he was. Navy suit I'd never seen. Victoria beside him in a red dress. His hand on her knee. His mother beaming at the head of the table. They looked like a real family. "In 5 minutes, I'm taking champagne in," Marcus said quietly. "I'll announce that someone has a message. That's your cue." The 5 minutes felt like 5 seconds. I walked in. The silence was deafening. "Hello. I'm sorry to interrupt your dinner. My name is Sarah. I'm Michael's wife." Victoria's face went white. "What is she talking about, Michael?" He was frozen. His mother stood. "This is inappropriate. You need to leave. I'm his wife. We've been married for 3 years, together for 5. I opened my folder. "And for the past 2 years, while you've all been welcoming Victoria, I've been at home, invisible, erased." I started laying photos on the table. Here's our wedding photo. Our marriage certificate. Last Christmas when he said he was too sick to travel but was actually here with you. The family stared. Some looked shocked. Some looked guilty. "This is absurd," his mother started. "Is it?" I turned to Victoria. "Did you know he was married?" Her hands shook. "No, he said he'd been divorced for years. He's not divorced. He's married. To me. Right now." I pulled out more evidence, screenshots, calendar entries, lies in black and white. "January 15th, you posted about a ski trip. He told me he was visiting his sick uncle. March 3rd, your anniversary. He said work conference. June 10th, family barbecue. He said his father was too ill for visitors." Victoria stumbled back. "You lied about everything." She looked at his family. "Did you all know?" The silence was her answer. "Oh my God, you all knew." Her voice broke. "This whole time and you just..." Victoria. "Wait!" his mother started. "No." Victoria grabbed her purse. "I thought we were building a life together. And you're married." He found his voice. "I can explain..." "Explain?" I laughed bitterly. "Please, explain 2 years of lying to both of us. Explain letting your family treat me like I don't exist while they welcome her. Explain the ring you gave her 6 months ago." The room erupted. His siblings talked over each other. His father sat stunned. His mother tried to take control, but no one listened. Victoria was crying. There's an actual wife, and you let me. We were planning to move in together. I looked at my husband. Everything he'd built was crumbling. I trusted you, I said quietly. For 5 years, I trusted every word, every excuse, every lie. I made myself small so you could be comfortable. I accepted being excluded. I believed you when you said it was complicated, but it wasn't complicated. You were just a coward. Sarah, he started. Don't. I collected my photos. I've filed for divorce. The papers will be served Monday. Until then, find somewhere else to sleep. You're not welcome in our home. I looked at his family. You all knew, every one of you, and you said nothing. I hope you can live with that. Victoria was already gone. I could hear her crying in the hallway. I walked out with my head high. Rachel was waiting. Behind me, the dinner had dissolved into chaos. Shouting, accusations, consequences they'd avoided for 2 years finally catching up. It was done. I stayed at Rachel's that night. Didn't go home. Couldn't face the emptiness of a house that had been a lie. My phone wouldn't stop buzzing. His calls, his texts, his mother's calls. I turned it off. Sunday morning, Rachel made coffee and we sat in silence. How do you feel? She finally asked. I don't know. Relieved, devastated, numb, all of it at once. That's normal. Is it? Is any of this normal? I laughed through tears. I was married to someone who didn't exist. My phone buzzed. A text from a number I didn't recognize. It's his brother, David, he wants to meet. I agreed to coffee Monday afternoon. David was already there when I arrived. He looked tired, guilty. Thank you for coming, he said. I owe you an apology. We all do. You all knew. For 2 years, you all knew. I know. I told myself it wasn't my place. That was cowardice. He looked at me. My wife left me over this. Yesterday. Said she couldn't be married to someone who'd be complicit. She was right. The family's falling apart. He continued. Dad isn't speaking to Mom. She's furious you embarrassed the family. Dad's furious she helped hide it. My sisters are fighting. And Michael's at my parents' house. Mom's defending him. Dad wants him out. What about Victoria? She blocked all of us, her family too. Her father had business connections with ours. Had. He's ended everything. She's devastated. Good, I thought, then felt guilty. She'd been lied to too. What he did to you, to her, it's unforgivable, David said. I just wanted you to know that not everyone in the family thinks what happened was okay. You deserved better. He left. I sat there with cold coffee, processing. The next few days blurred together. Rachel and Marcus helped me move out while he was at work. Took only what was mine. Left my key on the counter with the divorce papers. Rachel set up the guest room. Stay as long as you need. I need to find my own place. Eventually, but not yet. Processing. That's what everyone kept calling it. But it wasn't that simple. Every day I'd remember something I thought was real and have to recontextualize it. The way he'd kiss my forehead before work. Was he thinking about her? The way he'd hold my hand at the store. Was he comparing us? The way he'd say, I love you before bed. Did he say the same to her? I'd catch myself reaching for my phone to text him. Then remember, he wasn't my person anymore. Never really was. Rachel found me crying in the kitchen one night. I keep thinking about this moment, I told her. Last year, movie night. He fell asleep on my shoulder. I thought how lucky I was. My voice broke. But that was probably right after seeing her. Maybe he was tired from being with her. Maybe I was just the comfortable option, the easy one. You weren't the problem. You were never the problem. Then why wasn't I enough? Because he's broken. Not you. Him. It didn't feel that way. It felt like I'd failed somehow. That's the lie talking, Rachel said gently. The one he spent years building. But the truth is, nothing would have been enough. Because the problem wasn't you. It was who he is. I wanted to believe her. But late at night, alone in Rachel's guest room, I couldn't help wondering if I'd paid more attention, if I'd trusted my instincts, if I'd demanded answers when things felt off. Could I have stopped this sooner? Or was I always going to end up here? Broken, starting over, learning that 5 years had been built on lies? I didn't have answers. Just questions, and pain, and the slow, brutal work of accepting that the man I loved had never really existed. The messages started Tuesday. Sarah, please, let me explain. I made a terrible mistake. I love you. I deleted them without responding. Wednesday, flowers arrived at work. 2 dozen roses. Card. I'm so sorry. I put them in the break room. They were gone by lunch. Thursday, he showed up at my office. Security called. There's a Michael here to see you. Send him away, and if he comes back, don't call. Just send him away. Friday brought a long letter by courier. I almost threw it out, but curiosity won. Sarah, I know I don't deserve your forgiveness. What I did was unforgivable, but please believe me when I say I never stopped loving you. Victoria was a mistake that spiraled out of control. I was weak. I was scared. But you were never the problem. You were always everything I needed. Please, give me a chance to explain. I love you. Michael. I read it twice, then put it in the folder with all the other evidence. Rachel found me staring at it that night. His letter, begging for another chance. What are you thinking? That he's good at words. Always has been. That's how we got here. I'm not interested in words anymore. But not everyone agreed. Saturday, I ran into co-workers at the grocery store. They pulled me aside. We've been thinking, Emma started carefully. Maybe you should hear him out. People make mistakes. Maybe there's a way to work through this. I stared at them. Work through this? He had a whole separate life for 2 years. You think that's something we can work through? I'm just saying, Jason, would you take back your wife if she did that to you? He hesitated. I don't know. Maybe. He's sorry he got caught. Not sorry for what he did. This isn't your decision to make. Monday brought another surprise. His mother called. Sarah, I'd like to meet for lunch. I owe you a conversation. Every instinct said no, but I was curious. We met Tuesday. She was already there, looking nervous. Thank you for coming. I owe you an apology. I sat down. Didn't respond. I want to explain. When Michael brought Victoria home 2 years ago, we thought you two had separated. That's what he told us. That was a lie. I know that now, but we believed him. And Victoria, her family is well connected. Her father owns businesses we work with. When Michael started bringing her around, it felt like an opportunity. My stomach turned. An opportunity. For the family, for business connections. So you welcomed her because of her family's money, while pushing out your son's actual wife. She was quiet. I didn't think you were ambitious enough for him. You had your simple life. Victoria came from our world, understood our expectations. I thought Michael was making a smart choice, more suitable. I felt sick. When I found out the truth, that you were still married, that he'd been lying to both of you, I should have said something. But by then, Victoria's father was investing in our company. Our families were intertwined. She looked desperate. I want you to understand why it happened. So I'd what? Forgive you? Take him back? I'm telling you this so you know it wasn't about you. It was never about you not being enough. It was about us being terrible people who prioritize the wrong things. I stood up. Thank you for the honesty, but it doesn't change anything. Sarah, you know what hurts most? I tried so hard to get your family to like me. I attended every event. I brought gifts. I tried to be a good daughter-in-law. And the whole time you were measuring me against some standard I didn't know existed, looking for reasons to replace me. I'm sorry. I'm done with your family, with your son, with all of it. He'll be hearing from my lawyer. Don't contact me again. I left her sitting there. Rachel was waiting outside. How bad was it? Worse than I thought. I told her everything. They chose her for business connections. They threw you away for networking opportunities. It doesn't matter anymore. They made their choices. I'm making mine. And your choice is? To walk away. To never look back. To build a life with people who actually value me. That night, I blocked his number, his mother's, every member of his family. Whatever explanations or apologies they had left, I didn't need to hear them. I'd heard enough. He asked to meet 27 times before I said yes. Finally, I agreed. Not because I wanted to hear what he had to say, but because I needed closure. Public place. Daytime. 1 hour. We met at the park on Tuesday afternoon. I arrived early, sat on a bench near the fountain. He showed up exactly on time. He looked terrible. Thinner, dark circles, hair uncombed. Thank you for coming. I waited. I don't know where to start. The beginning. The truth this time. He took a shaky breath. It started as nothing. Victoria was a colleague. Coffee sometimes. Work talk. Harmless. When did it stop being harmless? Gradually. She was easy to talk to. Made me laugh, and I was stressed. You wanted to talk about the future, kids, moving, all these big decisions. She just wanted to have fun. No pressure. So you cheated because I wanted to build a life with you. I felt trapped. Like my life was on a track I didn't choose. With her, I could be someone different. Someone who didn't have all these responsibilities. You wanted to be irresponsible. I wanted to breathe. He looked at me. That's not an excuse, but that's how it felt. So why not divorce me? Why lie for 2 years? He was quiet. Because I loved you. I know how that sounds. But I loved you. I just also loved her. Or thought I did. And I couldn't choose. You did choose. Every day for 2 years, you chose to lie to both of us. I know. How long were you planning to keep it going? He didn't answer. Michael, how long? Forever? Until one of us figured it out? I don't know. That's not good enough. I don't know. I was living day to day, trying to keep both of you happy, trying to keep everyone's expectations met while slowly losing my mind. You were living in anxiety because you made bad choices. That's called consequences. I know that now. Did you ever think about what it was doing to me? To her? Did you consider that we deserved better than being options in your elaborate game? Every day. I thought about it every day. But not enough to stop. No. I stood up. I'm done here. Wait, please. He stood too. I need you to know, the time we had together, those were real. I did love you. I do love you. No? You loved having me. You loved having someone who believed in you. Someone who made you feel good while expecting nothing. I looked at him. But you never loved me enough to choose me. You never respected me enough to be honest. Sarah, I spent 5 years making myself smaller so you could feel bigger. I accepted being excluded. I believed every lie because I trusted you. Because I loved you. My voice was steady. But you didn't love me back. Not really. I'm sorry. He was crying. I'm so sorry. For all of it. I accept your apology. But I don't forgive you. And I never will. Please, can't we? No. Whatever you're about to ask, the answer is no. I grabbed my bag. The divorce papers have been filed. Don't contact me again. Don't show up at my work. We're done. Completely. Sarah, please. Move on, Michael. Find someone who wants to be your backup plan. Because I'm not that person anymore. I started walking away. I love you, he called. I didn't turn around. Just kept walking. By the time I reached my car, I was crying. But not tears of sadness. Tears of relief. Of liberation. Of finally being free. I sat in the driver's seat and called Rachel. It's done. It's really done. How do you feel? I thought about the weight that had been crushing my chest for months. It was still there, but lighter. Like I can breathe again. Good. Come home. I made dinner. Home. Rachel's apartment felt more like home than the house I'd shared with him ever had. Yeah, I'm coming home. I drove away from the park. Away from him. Away from 5 years of lies. And for the first time in months, I felt like I was moving forward. Not just away from something, but toward something. Toward healing. Toward a version of myself who wouldn't accept being made invisible ever again. It was over. And I was free. I thought the park meeting would be the end. It wasn't. The messages started again 2 days later. Different number. I understand you need space, but please know I'm here. Blocked. Another number the next day. I miss you. Blocked. Facebook from an unknown account. Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, every platform I had. Friday evening, I was at the grocery store. Turned the corner and there he was. Looking directly at me. Sarah, hey. I did. Every Friday. Same time. He knew. Leave me alone. I turned my cart around. Wait. Leave. Me. Alone. I left the cart and walked out. Rachel was furious when I told her. That's stalking. You need to document this. She was right. I started keeping a log. Every message, every sighting. Monday, coffee shop near my office. Tuesday, the gym. Wednesday, his car parked across from Rachel's apartment. That's it, Rachel said. I'm calling him. She put it on speaker. Hello? His voice sounded hopeful. Michael, this is Rachel. What you're doing is harassment. Sarah has made it clear she doesn't want contact. If you continue, we will involve the police and file for a restraining order. Do you understand? Silence. Do you understand? I just want to talk to her. She doesn't want to talk to you. Stop. Or there will be legal consequences. She hung up. My hands were shaking. Do you think it'll work? If he shows up again, we call the police. For a week, it was quiet. No messages, no sightings. I started to relax. Then David called. Sarah, David, Michael's brother. Please don't hang up. What do you want? I heard about what he's been doing. I wanted to apologize again. And to tell you I talked to him. And I told him he needs to stop. That he's making everything worse. That he needs to respect your decision. He paused. He's staying with my parents. Mom's defending him. Dad's barely speaking to him. That's not my problem. I know. I just wanted you to know that some of us support your decision. Some of us think you did the right thing. If he keeps harassing you, we'll help you get that restraining order. Why are you telling me this? Because you deserve to know you have allies. Take care of yourself, Sarah. That night, I sat with Rachel. I keep waiting to miss him, I told her. The real missing. The ache of wanting someone back. But it's not there. That's good. Shouldn't 5 years mean something? They did. They taught you what you won't accept, what you deserve. She looked at me, and they ended when they needed to. I'm angry. More than sad. I'm just so angry that he wasted my time, that he made me doubt myself. That's okay. Anger is part of grief. I loved him, the version I thought existed. I loved that man so much. My voice broke, and he never existed. Every memory I have is tainted now. That's on him, not you. I keep wondering what I missed. What signs I ignored. You weren't blind. You were trusting. There's a difference. Is there? Yes. Being trusting isn't a flaw. Being trustworthy is his responsibility. He failed. Not you. Some days I could see it clearly. I'd done nothing wrong. I'd loved honestly. I'd been a good partner, and he'd taken advantage of that. Other days I couldn't stop questioning everything. It gets better, Rachel said, I promise. One day you'll wake up and realize you didn't think about him at all. And then that'll happen more until he's just a story you tell. A lesson you learned. When? I don't know, but it will happen. I leaned against her. Thank you. For everything. That's what sisters are for. You're better family than I ever had with them. That night, for the first time in weeks, I slept through without waking from anxiety. When I woke up, I felt different. Not healed, but stronger. More solid. Like I'd survived something that should have broken me but didn't. The worst was over. Everything from here was just healing. 3 months later, I moved into my own apartment. Small. 1 bedroom. But mine. Every piece of furniture I chose. Every color I painted. Every decision was mine alone. Rachel helped me move in. This is good. This feels like you. She was right. The old house had been decorated to his taste. Neutral. Safe. Boring. This was bright. Colorful. Alive. I'd started therapy 2 months ago. Dr. Martinez was helping me work through everything. You ignored red flags, she'd said. But that doesn't make this your fault. Manipulators are good at what they do. How do I trust my instincts again? By learning what those red flags look like. By understanding the patterns. We'd made a list. All the signs I'd missed. Phone always face down. Stepping out for calls. Vague about events. Keeping me separate from family. Sudden trips. Being defensive when questioned. Making me feel guilty for having concerns. Classic manipulation tactics, Martinez had said. My mother visited one afternoon, brought coffee. I should have said something, she admitted. I had a bad feeling about the way he talked about his family, about how you were never included. But you seemed happy. Why tell me now? Because I was wrong. You're my daughter. I should have trusted my instincts and said something. She looked at me. I'm sorry. Thank you. Are you okay? Getting there. Some days are hard. Some days I just feel relief, but I'm better than I was. I'd started art classes on Thursdays. Something I'd always wanted to do, but he'd dismissed as not practical. The class was full of interesting people. We'd started getting drinks after. So you're divorced? Maria asked one night. Recently. Still processing paperwork. Me too. 2 years now. She smiled. It gets easier. When did you know you were okay? The first time I made a major decision without consulting him, or thinking about what he'd want. I just decided. For me. She took a sip of wine. That's when I knew I was free. The art class was my first decision like that. The apartment was another. Small steps toward being my own person again. I'd started a blog too, anonymous, writing about the experience, about manipulation, about rebuilding. The response was overwhelming. Hundreds of comments from people who'd been through similar situations. Your story gave me the courage to leave, one person wrote. I thought I was crazy for being hurt. Thank you for showing me I wasn't, wrote another. Reading their stories helped. Reminded me I wasn't alone. That being manipulated didn't mean I was stupid. It meant I'd loved someone who didn't deserve it. One Saturday, I met my sister for lunch. We hadn't been close during my marriage. He'd made that difficult. I didn't like him, she said. Never did. But you seemed so set on making it work. Would I have listened if you'd said something? Really? I shook my head. I don't think so. I had to figure it out myself. Maybe. But you shouldn't have had to figure it out the hard way. The hard way taught me things. About who I am, what I deserve, what I won't tolerate. She squeezed my hand. Dr. Martinez had asked me to make another list. Things I'd learned. Love doesn't make you feel small. Love doesn't hide you. Love doesn't lie. Love doesn't make you doubt yourself. Love doesn't choose between you and someone else. Love doesn't keep secrets. Real love chooses you, shows you, includes you, celebrates you, stands up for you, tells the truth. I put the list on my bathroom mirror, read it every morning. Some nights I still cried, still felt angry, still wondered how I'd wasted 5 years. But more often now, I felt grateful. Grateful it had ended. Grateful I'd found the courage to walk away. Grateful for Rachel and Marcus and David and everyone who'd helped. Grateful for the chance to start over. 4 months after the divorce was finalized, I was ready to let go. I took all the screenshots, all the evidence, all the folders I'd kept, and deleted them. I didn't need them anymore. Didn't need proof of what had happened. I knew the truth. That was enough. The chapter was closed. And I was ready for whatever came next. 6 months after the divorce was finalized, I saw him at the grocery store. I was in the cereal aisle when I heard it. That voice I'd once known better than my own. Sarah. I turned. There he was, thinner, tired. But it was him. Michael. My voice was steady, neutral. Hi, how are you? I'm good. You? I'm okay. Living downtown now. Started a new job last month. That's good. Awkward silence. I didn't fill it. You look good, he said. Happy. I am. I'm glad. I've been wanting to say I'm sorry. One more time. For everything. Okay. Is there any chance we could get coffee sometime? No, but thank you for the apology. Right. Of course. Take care, Michael. I picked up my cereal and walked away. My hands weren't shaking. My heart wasn't racing. I felt nothing. Just mild discomfort. When I got to my car, I waited for the wave of emotion. The anger or sadness or regret. It didn't come. I'd worried about this moment, prepared for the feelings that would come rushing back. But there were no feelings. He was just a person now. Someone I used to know. Not someone who had power over me anymore. I called Rachel. I ran into him. And nothing. It was fine. I was fine. That's good, right? It's weird. I thought seeing him would bring it all back. But it just felt like running into an old coworker. Uncomfortable, but not painful. That means you've moved on. I guess I have. Later that week, I ran into Emma at a coffee shop. Eventually, the conversation turned to him. I heard he moved, Emma said carefully. Left town a few months ago. I heard. Ran into him, actually? How was that? Fine. Weird, but fine. For what it's worth, it's been rough for him. The divorce, losing friends. His family's still a mess, his parents separated. I didn't know that. Yeah. His dad couldn't forgive his mom for the whole Victoria thing. They're selling the house. I felt a pang of something. Not sadness. More like recognition that actions have consequences. What about Victoria? She moved too. Different city. Cut all ties. Smart move. Yeah. You know what's funny? At the time, some of us thought you were being harsh. But now everyone realizes you were right. You deserved better. Thanks. A few days later, David texted. Heard you ran into Michael. Just wanted to check if you're okay. I'm fine. It was awkward, but fine. Good. For what it's worth, I think he's finally realizing what he lost. Too late. How is he really? Not great. The job downtown is a step down, studio apartment. Doesn't talk to most of the family. Mom's the only one who still defends him. I'm sorry your parents split. Don't be, it should have happened years ago. And Michael is facing consequences for the first time in his life. Not fun to watch, but necessary. Thanks for the update. That night I thought about him. Really thought about him. He was weak, selfish, unable to make hard choices, willing to hurt people rather than face uncomfortable truths. But he was also human, flawed, living with the consequences. I didn't hate him anymore, didn't love him, didn't feel much of anything. He was just a person I used to know, a chapter that was closed. And I was okay with that. I pulled out my phone and scrolled through old photos. Found ones from our wedding. We looked happy, in love. Had any of it been real? I'd never know. Maybe some was. Maybe he'd loved the version of me who didn't ask questions, who made his life easy. But that version was gone. And the person I was now wouldn't have tolerated him for a second. I deleted the photos. Not with anger or sadness, just finality. That night, I slept better than I had in a year. No nightmares, no anxiety, no grief, just peace. 1 year. Exactly 1 year since I'd opened Instagram and seen those photos. Since my world had collapsed and rebuilt itself into something new. I was sitting in a coffee shop Saturday morning, working on a freelance design project. Something I'd started 6 months ago. It was growing steadily. My phone buzzed. Rachel. Coffee later? Want to celebrate your 1 year anniversary of freedom? I smiled. Already having coffee, meet me at the bookstore at 2? Perfect. I looked around the coffee shop. Cozy, bright, full of interesting people. I'd made friends with the owner, joined a book club, started coming every Saturday. This was my life now, a life I'd built from scratch, where I made the decisions, where I chose what made me happy, where I wasn't invisible. My apartment was decorated the way I wanted. My schedule was my own. My friendships were genuine. My work was fulfilling, and I was happy. Actually, genuinely happy. Not the performance of happiness from my marriage, but real contentment with who I was and where I was going. I'd gone on a few dates, nothing serious yet, and that was okay. I wasn't in a hurry. For the first time in my adult life, I was complete on my own. Dr. Martinez and I had talked about this in our last session. You've come a long way. When you first came in, you were questioning everything about yourself. Your judgment, your worth. And now I know who I am, what I deserve, what I won't accept. That's growth. That's healing. She was right. Most days now, I felt strong, capable, free. I finished my coffee and headed to the bookstore. Rachel was already there. There's my favorite survivor, she said, pulling me into a hug. We grabbed books and settled into the reading nook. So, 1 year, how do you feel? Good, really good. A year ago, I couldn't imagine feeling this okay. I thought I'd be broken forever, that I'd never trust anyone again. And now? Now I know better. What he did was about him. His choices, his failures, not mine. I'm not broken. I was never broken. I was just with someone who tried to make me think I was. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of me too. We spent the afternoon talking, not about him, not about the past, but about the future, my growing business, her new job, places we wanted to travel, dreams we were finally pursuing. Later, walking home, I thought about what I'd learned. Love doesn't ask you to disappear. It doesn't make you question your worth. It doesn't lie. Real love shows up, tells the truth, chooses you openly, celebrates you, respects your boundaries. Being alone is better than being with someone who makes you feel alone. Starting over isn't failure. It's courage. I'm stronger than I thought, more resilient than I knew, more deserving than I believed. The right person won't make me prove my worth, won't make me earn their honesty, won't make me compete for attention. The right person will just choose me, completely, honestly, openly. And if that person never comes, I'm okay with that too, because I have myself, and Rachel, and my family, and my friends. A full, complete, happy life, on my own terms. That evening, I sat on my balcony watching the sunset. A year ago, I'd been in the darkest moment, discovering lies, feeling betrayed, questioning everything. Now I was watching the sky turn gold and pink, feeling grateful. Grateful for the strength to leave, grateful for the courage to start over, grateful that I'd chosen myself. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Hi Sarah, this is James from art class. I was wondering if you'd want to get coffee sometime? No pressure. I smiled. James. Quiet, kind, genuine. We'd had several conversations after class. He made me laugh, listened, seemed interested in actually knowing me. Was I ready? Did I want to risk it? Then I remembered. I wasn't the same person who'd been too scared to trust her instincts, who'd accepted being invisible, who'd settled for half-truths. I was someone who knew her worth, who had standards, who wouldn't accept anything less than complete honesty and respect. Hi, James. Coffee sounds nice. Coffee? How about Wednesday at 10? His response came quickly. Perfect. Looking forward to it. I set my phone down and looked at the sunset. Maybe something would come of it. Maybe nothing would. Either way, I was okay. Because I'd learned the most important lesson. I didn't need someone else to complete me. I was already whole. Everything else was just extra. And that was the best freedom of all. The chapter was closed. And I was ready for whatever came next. Whatever came next.
you.